If you've got a chunk of pecorino romano on hand and maybe some ground black pepper, then you're on your way to making one of the 4 classic Roman pasta dishes. There's carbonara, amatriciana, cacio e pepe, and what we're making today, pasta alla Gricia. Now, it's not as well known, but Dan's here to tell us why we should be making this every single day.
Every day is perfect. It's a short ingredient list, huge flavor. So of the pasta quartet that comes from Rome, this one puts pork at the very top.
Which is why I love it.
I know, it's perfect that we're doing it together. So let's talk about pork first. So the traditional pork choice here is guanciale, which is cured pork jowl. And that is different than pancetta. So pancetta is from the belly, and that's cured and then usually rolled up like this. So that's what we're looking at here. So this is the jowl right here. You can see it's got more fat, and it's just got a funkier, porkier flavor. So this is really gonna season the entire dish nicely. A little less acidity. This has a little more fermenty flavor, the pancetta. So if you can get your hands on guanciale, it's becoming a little bit more available in the States. Go for it. So we're gonna have chunks of guanciale in the pasta itself, but the fat that renders out is also going to make our sauce possible. This is a really creamy sauce that has no cream in it, and it's all through the magic of emulsification. And so we need the fat to come out of this. And first we're gonna start by cutting this into 1/4-inch pieces this way. And then I just stack a couple. So we've got basically 1-inch pieces this way, 1/4-inch that way, and we're gonna cut 1/2-inch this way.
Okay.
So we're gonna leave them nice and chunky. So this is 8 ounces of guanciale. So 1/2 pound, it's a significant amount, but we're gonna need that much in there. So I'm adding this to a cold Dutch oven with a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in here. We're gonna put it over medium-low heat. We're gonna do this pretty gently. So that's gonna take about 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Just kind of monitor that. So let's talk about pasta. Rigatoni is the traditional choice for this dish, so that's what we're going with. We're working with a pasta that is really rough textured on the outside. It's gonna help grab onto lots of sauce. We're gonna do 2 things kind of differently with this pasta. We're gonna cook it in just 2 quarts of water.
Are we allowed to do that?
We are allowed to do that. It's actually gonna be key to this dish. What we want is a really starchy pasta water. A bunch of it is gonna go into the sauce, and that, along with the fat and the water, is gonna help create a really nice velvety sauce. The second thing is we're not gonna add any salt to that water. Guanciale is really salty, the pecorino we're gonna use is really salty, and we're gonna use a lot of pasta water, so we're gonna leave that salt out. All right, so here we go, we're going in.
That looks so wrong.
Looks so wrong, I know. So the only thing you need to do a little bit differently is just stir a little bit more in the beginning.
Okay.
There's a little bit more tendency to stick because everything's a little closer together, but this will absolutely work. So we're gonna cook this to perfect al dente, and we're gonna do that by tasting it.
Okay.
So right around maybe 9 minutes, I'll check it and taste it. And then we're gonna cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes. We want really beautiful browning, and you'll see that the fat turns translucent and we'll render out a bunch of that fat. Okay, look at this guanciale.
This is like fantasy kitchen.
Right? Just pork and pasta going on.
Yes.
I'm gonna use my slotted spoon here and transfer it out. Leave that fat behind.
How crispy. Oh.
So I am going to drain this. So we're looking for at least 1/4 cup and up to 1/3 cup. So we've got a little bit of extra here. I'm gonna take it down to 1/3 cup. Beautiful. So our fat's gonna go back into the pot, and now it is time to drain our pasta.
Okay.
So you can see we've got really starchy water in there.
Very starchy.
I think this pasta's probably good, but I'm just gonna do a quick taste on it. Nice bite to it, that's awesome. So it's time to drain, and we're not gonna do this over the sink. We've actually got a colander in a bowl here. We're gonna capture all of this pasta water.
All of the pasta cooking rules are gone.
We're not wasting anything. All right, let's take a look.
You can't even see through that water.
I know, it's so nice and starchy, I love it. So I'm gonna set this pasta aside for just a second, and then we're gonna use 2 cups of the pasta water actually to make the sauce.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna pour that off here. Perfect.
Wow.
I'm gonna add this to the pot along with that fat. The third big flavor is black pepper.
Yes.
That really helps to cut through all of the fat and richness in this dish. So that's a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm gonna bring this to a boil over high heat, and we're gonna cook it until it reaches about 1.5 cups, which takes about 5 minutes. This is one of the coolest parts of this recipe. So we want a really creamy sauce, and this is actually the key to emulsifying all that fat. This boiling action, all this violent action breaks the fat into tiny little droplets, and the starchy water helps to keep all of that fat separated. So it stays really emulsified and creamy instead of separating back out. So the boiling step not only reduces it and concentrates things, actually forms the emulsion.
Creamy, it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful, right? Smells incredible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and it's looking really nice and creamy and emulsified. So I want to get a measurement on it. It's really important to have the right amount of sauce. So I'm just going to pour this off. We're looking for 1.5 cups of this gorgeous sauce. Perfect. So that's 1.5 cups. So I'm going to put this heat on low. Now we just put the whole thing together. So we've got our pasta over here. So pasta goes in. We've got our beautiful brown guanciale. Every last bit of that. And then we've also got pecorino romano. You want to buy a really high quality one that's nutty and sharp. A lot of good funkiness is going to match with the funkiness of that pork. So this is 1 cup, which is 2 ounces, finely grated. And we've got it over low heat here. So I'm going to stir everything in, and we want to stir for a decent amount of time, about a minute. And what we're trying to do here is get everything beautifully coated. And this is what's going to give us that gorgeous, creamy pasta. So you can see that it's really starting to get super creamy.
That's beautiful.
This looks gorgeous. It is time to eat.
Thank goodness for that. The aroma, the cheese, the pork, the pepper. You can get a lot of that pepper because it blooms in that hot oil.
Exactly. All right.
Now, I have a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
I counted at least 3 more pieces of pork in your serving than mine.
You're good. Let me get you over here. All right, can I upgrade a little more pecorino romano on top?
Do. Yes. Snow falls on pasta.
I know. So beautiful.
All right, I'm going to tuck into and make sure we get one of those missing pieces of pork.
Like my big one here?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think I've won the prize here. It's pork in the middle of rigatoni.
This is like the original pigs in a blanket,
That's what
right?
I was thinking.
You were thinking?
Yeah, I think that's what alla Gricia means. Oh, that pork flavor, it's so good. And you didn't add any salt to the pasta cooking water.
Which, yeah, you were a little skeptical about.
Yeah, a little skeptical. But you didn't need to season it afterwards either, and it's perfectly seasoned.
I love it. We have these really salty ingredients that bring so much else to the table. We're getting all of our salt from that.
It's like tangy from the cheese and the pork. It's got those funky flavors in there. Little bite of black pepper.
Yeah.
It's as good as it gets. We really should make this every day.
I agree.
And by we, I mean you.
Happy to do it.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, if you want to make pasta alla Gricia at home, render guanciale until brown, and in the meantime, start cooking rigatoni. Add black pepper and pasta cooking water to the pork fat and boil it all together until the mixture becomes an emulsified sauce. Add the pasta and guanciale back to that sauce and stir in pecorino romano. Serve with more cheese and a little black pepper if desired. So from America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, pasta alla Gricia. Where's all the pork?
Where did it go?
You didn't put any in my bowl.
I did. I gave you some.
I didn't see you.
Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.